Hello, Nigerians are furious and outraged with another African country because of a certain restriction this country has imposed on Nigerian tourists specifically. And in this video, I will be looking at why this happened, and I also want to ask how Nigerians, how are you feeling about it? Because it now creates the impression that all of Nigeria are involved in criminal activities, which is definitely not the case. And now because of a few who are involved in criminal activities in other countries, now the whole of Nigeria has to pay for the price, which is absolutely unfair. And the reason why I looked at it, for a country to make such a decision, that's a drastic step. The visa ban that they have put on Nigerians, it's a drastic step. And it could cause a diplomatic fallout. And for a country to go to that extreme that they say we do not want visitors from another country, there must be a reason behind it. So this is the headlines that has caused a huge outcry in Nigeria. It has made Nigerians very, very unhappy with reason. I mean, I am South African. If I were to see a headline like that, I would also not be happy. I don't know if you can remember a few months ago, there was a ban in England on specifically passengers who were traveling on the Ryanair, who was making use of Ryan Airlines. They had to prove that they are actually South African by having to do this ridiculous Afrikaans test. The reason for that is at that stage, the South African passport was being seen as a dubious one, and it was being seen as too easy to get a fake passport in South Africa, but it was resolved. But I can remember how I was not impressed with it, and it was a huge talking point in South Africa. But to get back to the case of Nigeria. So this report, then finally, after lots of talking on social media, then the Vice President of Sychelles, Ahmad Afif, he said yes. Sychelles has imposed restrictions on Nigerian tourists over criminal activities, especially in terms of drug trafficking and internet fraud linked to nationals from Nigeria. So then he said, this is now the Vice President, he said the immigration authorities of Sychelles has been instructed to only permit Nigerians with diplomatic passports and residential permits to enter the country. So tourists or new immigrants have been banned indefinitely. So that is basically another word, until further notice. So he said this is what, then Afif went on to explain why they took such a drastic decision. He says in terms of drug trafficking and online fraud syndicates, Nigerians were becoming a massive problem in Sychelles. He alleges that in 2 weeks, 13 people coming from Nigeria have been arrested when they entered Sychelles because they were carrying drugs into the country. Then he also further alleged, he said in one case, 62 Nigerians said they were on holiday, they used false credit cards, and the money was never paid to the bed and breakfast or the hotel or the lodge, wherever it is where they were staying. So these establishments lost money. And in essence, the Nigerians who defrauded those holiday homes and hotels, they actually had a free holiday in the country at the expense of the owners of this place. And he said there's nothing they can do for these owners who have suffered these losses because the money is gone. So then he ends off to say that They, as the Sychelles, they were concerned and needed to do something about a recent spike in criminal activities linked, unfortunately, to Nigerians. He said they have no issues with and Nigerians, but it's just this recent spike they needed to address it. And that is the end of the report. So my question then is, as a Nigerian, because look, these are legit concerns that the vice president that he mentioned, the drug trafficking as well as the internet fraud. There was also a case allegedly of fraud of up to £1 million. That happened in Seychelles, online fraud. It was linked to Nigerians. So at the end of the day, he took that step to protect the citizens of Seychelles. And according to reports, Seychelles already has a huge problem with heroin addiction. But the downside of this, even though Seychelles has taken these steps as a measure to protect their own citizens, this affects Nigerians negatively. And it's very easy, for a perception to be born or to be created, because people don't like to think. They don't like to think. So it's very easy now to want to paint all Nigerians with the same brush, which is unfair. But the question is, what is being done about those Nigerians who are involved in illegal activities? How does the government address it? Because like I've said earlier on, for one government to take such drastic steps that it could actually lead to a fallout with another government, that is not a step that any government will take easily. And it's not about undermining another country. It's not a personal attack on Nigerians, but it was a step that they took, the Sychelles took, that they thought was in their best interest. But having said that, it is unfair towards those who just want to go and have a holiday. So now, even the people in the Nigerians who do a legit job, the Nigerians who are not involved in criminal activities, who are not involved in drug trafficking, in online fraud, or in any illegal activities, you now have to pay the price because of other Nigerians who went to another country and did illegal stuff. So I just want to say, and also before I ask my question, this is indefinitely. There's no timeline. This is until the issue has been sorted out between the two governments, because now this becomes a diplomatic issue now. It's country to country, and just because of the behavior of citizens who go and do illegal stuff. So I wanted to know, how are you as a Nigerian feeling about it? Do you think this was extreme, or do you think this was the right thing for Sychelles to do? And even in your own country, do you think the government is doing enough to protect its own citizens from online fraud, from drug trafficking, from these kind of illegal activities that Nigerians are now being accused of by the Sychelles? Look, it's not an easy thing when your country is in the news for all the wrong reasons. It's a very bitter pill to swallow, and it does make you defensive, and it does make you feel hurt, and it does make you feel aggrieved. But the question then also need to be asked, why was this decision taken? Because where governments are involved, they don't deal with sentiments or opinions. They deal with what is in front of them. So let's see then in future how this will play out and how the end will be. And I hope it gets resolved, because Sychelles, it's a beautiful country. They have a small population. They have untouched beaches. It's one of the dream destinations to go and visit. So yeah, let me know what you think. Share with me your experience and your opinion, and share with me that what is the sentiment in Nigeria right now. So that's a wrap. Please like, share, subscribe, and of course comment on this show and of course on other shows as well. Thank you so much for watching.